Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. All right, so today is the 17th of August, and we're going to take this opportunity. We had so much to say on a previous focal point that we are going to abridge into this focal point this week. We're going to be talking about Transformers, the movies, and what we might have done differently, what we liked, what we didn't like.
So again, we're taking old footage that we didn't put into the show, and we're using it now. Because we're resourceful like that. Yes. Thrifty, even.
Yes, and it's getting really hot in here, so we need to cut this session short.
Yeah.
I'm RJ.
And I don't have a joke for this.
Let's get to it.
Wait, no. Let's not. I don't have a joke. Hold on. Wait. I gotta. No joke. 1 second. Sorry. Okay. It's so simple. Ah.
I'm RJ.
I already did the thing. That's the joke.
I don't get it.
You don't have to get it. Watch Azumanga Dao. Chiyo-chan, Osaka. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Sorry.
I'm going to get to it. I wanted to talk about Transformers. We've probably all seen the third one. Yeah, so we're kind of done with that franchise as far as I know. And I just kind of wanted to talk about it as a whole, maybe pick apart a few of the movies a little bit. But as a whole, I was very impressed with what they got right, but I was very depressed at what they could have gotten right. In saying this, I mean, the first one I liked. I was really hesitant because I thought, seeing all the fancy parts and whatever, it's like, okay, Lucas and Bay had a child and it's Transformers 1. But it really wasn't bad at all. It was actually pretty darn good.
The first time I heard Blackout transform, with the noise behind it from the original, scene, I was just like, oh.
But see, this is, okay, I guess I'll just preface with, I like that movie the best. That was the best movie to me. And part of that is the first time you saw a Transformer, it was so grandiose. It was huge. It was unexpected. It has great sound design. Absolutely great sound design. And they even did the nod, with the little...
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thrown in there. But yeah, I mean, it's just like... Whoosh, and he's just a terrible force. Blackout is a really cool-looking, Transformer. They did everything right with that first scene. And that really set the tone for the movie. I really appreciate that they took the time to develop these characters. I mean, obviously, it's the first time you run into them, so they kind of have to.
Right.
But that's what I felt the rest of the series kind of abandons, and obviously it does.
Character development, yeah.
In fact, the ones that you meet in the first movie are the only ones that you care about, by and large, throughout the rest of the series.
Right.
They never take that time to establish any other characters. Having said that, the first one... Jazz was retarded. I'm so glad he died.
Yeah.
That actually worked a little bit because when Megatron said, you want a piece of me? And he said, no, I want two, and ripped him in half. I was like, yes! Because I hated that character so much.
And that's actually very disappointing to me because in the old cartoon that we grew up watching, Jazz was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, well, he's a pivotal character. Yeah.
But, his character in the first movie just didn't...
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It's kind of what they ended up, they grew that for the second one.
Right.
And then they shrunk it down a little bit for the third one. But okay, so first one down parts are, Jazz or whatever. I thought Shia LaBeouf did fine, right?
Yeah, I liked him in all the movies.
Okay. I think he did a decent job. I know a lot of people were kind of on the fence about him, but I think he did a great job, especially as that character that is never. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the animation, you don't really see a whole lot about him, right? He's just kind of this.
Wait, which animation are you talking about? Are you talking about the old TV show?
TV show, yeah.
And the TV show, it was Sparkplug, and then Spike, and then Spike's...
Spike, right. Which is Sam. I mean, it's the same kind of character. I mean,
not really. Substitute. Not really. Spike had a child named Sam, and Sam always hung out with...
Oh, okay. I guess it's been long enough that I forgot that part, but...
Maybe I'm getting something confused.
Anyway, I thought the first one was really great. I wish that they had spent a little bit more time on like Bone Crusher and Brawl.
Right.
And who was the genius that named Brawl Devastator?
Yeah, and the little...
Seriously, because, you know, in the second movie, lo and behold, we have the actual Devastator, and they've already kind of blown that, but...
And what's funny is Brawl is, in the old show, Brawl was actually part of the Devastator squad.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's one of them.
Destructicons, that's what they were called.
Anyway, so they did a little bit of... I wish they would have followed the lore. They should have had a consultant that knew what he was talking about.
Yeah. Well, I imagine they did, but, you know... They just
there's a lot
threw it out the window.
And then there's some invented like Frenzy and whatever. And you need Frenzy.
No, Frenzy was an actual character.
Was he?
Yeah, but he was
Was he one of the tapes?
Yeah, he was one of the tapes.
Soundwaves tapes. Okay.
Soundwaves tapes.
So I know they had to do that character because they brought it into a human world. So you have to have a robot that's human sized. That's just the way you have to have it. That's how they had to get these plot devices, you know, moving, is to have a small robot.
I guess
something more accessible, and I think that's why they did it. Okay, so first one, thumbs up.
Yep.
Second one,
don't even talk
horrible
about it.
Things go wrong.
Don't even talk
horrible
about
things. Goofy characters. I mean, you'd think you'd learn from Jar Jar Binks. Enough said.
Yeah.
They had like 3 Jar Jar Binks in that one. And lots of humping jokes, and lots of, oh, gee, there are his balls, and stuff like that. And just the scatagorical humor that just, I don't know.
Didn't do anything.
And but there were some cool special effects. The consistent between all the 3 of the special effects are amazing.
I agree.
They do a really good job with the robots, and I thought some of the robots were really cool. But the second movie, the last thing I want to talk about is that first scene where it's so huge, and they've got Devastator and all this stuff. You know,
I don't think
they throw out Sideswipe or Demolisher. And they throw out Sideswipe, and Wheelie is there, but she's a girl. But
no, not Wheelie.
RC, but she's only a Flash. No. RC is the little guy. I'm talking about...
RC's the female bike.
Is it? Okay, I thought RC was the little guy that they... Well, anyway, it's just so much.
No,
right
that's
away,
Wheelie. Wheelie is the little humping guy.
Right away, I was taken out of it because it was so big.
Right.
Like, where do you go from there? And none of the characters... I really wanted Sideswipe to have his moment in the sun.
Get a personality.
Okay, so that's enough for the second one. The third one, we are split on for some part of it. It is a beautiful movie, especially if you see it in 3D.
Yep.
Even the mundane stuff, like the regular people's story stuff, the 3D is just so beautiful. It's so fun. And he and James Cameron really got together and tried to push the envelope for the 3D. And for the most part, it paid off. There's a few scenes that might be a little blurry or whatever, but they pioneered the technology, and I'm really looking forward to what they do with it.
Yeah, so am I. No, I completely agree.
Now, here's where we come to be split. The story. He thought the story was fun. He thought it's a great movie, right? Tell me about what you thought.
I thought it was a great movie, but again, I could be biased because I love the Transformers.
But I don't understand that, because if you love the Transformers, then you'd want more story.
I think the story was there.
About the humans. I mean, there's obviously an overarching story with the Transformers, but when it comes to the individual, they're just lost.
Individually, they focus on Sam Witwicky and his new girlfriend. But I think that was important because there's always been a human influence in Transformers. Consistently, there's always been.
Yeah,
but a few exceptions.
This definitely ruled the roost in this movie. I mean, like the first half of the movie, it's almost like it's first half human, second half robot. I mean, there's some cool fight scenes in the first half, but really it doesn't start going for the Transformers until like halfway through the movie.
Right. Well,
I guess with coming off of the second one where they did some really poor choices for the human story.
Right.
I just couldn't get back into it. And I will say this: the Victoria's Secret model that they cast actually does a good job of acting.
Acting, yes. I was focused on her acting.
We both think that she did a decent job.
No, she did a great job acting. Yeah.
And
wearing tight dresses.
Whatever. He's gross. Uh, so anyway, girls, email him at Nick's a chauvinist. I know. He's not that bad. So anyway, so I just wish that they had spent more time again with the characters. I mean, some of the ones that come back. I keep forgetting his name. Not Sideswipe, right?
Sideswipe is the silver one with the blades.
Right. Again, he shows up, but again, he has like 2 lines, and you don't know anything about him. I don't think they even give him a title. Like, that was one thing I liked about the first. Even though they ruined it with Brawl, they got it wrong, Brawl and Devastator.
Right.
I liked that they did, like Bone Crusher. It's like, okay, well, we know that robot's called Bone Crusher then.
Yeah.
And I can understand they unleash, hell, and all these robots, all these Decepticons come, and you probably couldn't keep up with that.
Right,
There's really no way to do it. But
the ones that you know,
the ones that are reoccurring.
Like the red one.
There's a red one that has some kind of accent, like a German accent or something. I don't know, Dutch
I forgot.
or something. Yeah. And he's kind of cool. He's almost got like the Blades of Chaos kind of thing, right?
Right. Yeah.
But they don't ever utilize him, so it's just all this stuff is thrown away.
I don't know his name.
And that's my problem with it. I still say go see it if you haven't, because it is so beautiful. Make sure you see it in 3D if you have a good 3D theater. I don't think it's essential, but it definitely adds another layer of frosting to the cake. And
I like cake.
I don't really like Michael Bay. I think that he's perfect in the action scenes because he is huge and ridiculous.
Right.
And that works in this movie.
Right.
In these movies.
What would you do differently with the Transformers franchise?
Well, honestly, I would remove the second one. I think we agree on that.
Yes.
I would take the third one and I would make it 2 movies. And I would focus much more on character. Like, even if you left the human stuff in, which I, kind of had a problem with, it's okay. I just think that it was too heavy on that and too light on the robots. I mean, it's a grandiose thing that you have to tackle with the whole, robots on moon and on the moon, robots, Transformers on the moon and whatnot, Decepticons. But I would just focus on some of those characters. Introduce some of the more beloved characters. Like, it's sad that if this franchise is truly over, that we didn't see Grimlock or any of those. They were big.
Like Hound was never used. I would have loved to have seen Cup, Hot Rod. I think when the second one was first coming out that they were going to put Hot Rod in it, but you never see it.
It's really funny that they choose to make up Transformers rather than use one of the many Transformers. I just think that the people that made the film, by and large, did not, watch the animation or collect the toys or whatever.
But that's near impossible. How old is Michael Bay?
Altogether, I definitely think it's a good series. It does bring me hope. It was one of those things when we first heard about it, I thought this is a tragedy waiting to happen. How are you going to be able to make this good? And they did make it good, with the exception of that second film story and whatnot.
Which I blame on the writer's strike. That's what I'm going to.
Fair point.
That's what I'm going to blame it on.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. See ya.
Bye.
Coming up, we look at Deus Ex, the video games. All right.
And it didn't break down the middle. Oh, that sucks.
Okay, this is for you, Melinda and Amy. I clearly have no idea what he's doing.
They're chopsticks. I don't know if you can tell with their chopstick. I broke them right down the middle, right?
Yeah, he said you would know. So,
you just gotta hair like Osaka. I'm gonna get the Chio-chan buns things, and I'm gonna start wearing them. You're gonna see. All right, come on, seriously. We're professionals here.
I'm a professional.
Yeah, I just come in every Sunday and like, hey guys, what's going on?
I think stuff sometimes.
Is that really what you think of me?
Yeah. This is what I think. 17th? Is that focal point? Is the 17th the focal point? Is it, Nick? Is it the focal point? On today's Duel review, I yank out Nick's teeth.